Weretastic disaster revisit 2 years later. Hey folks, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. I certainly am. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be revisiting the set for a weretastic disaster after 2 years. It has been 2 years since I made that short film. It's been a very long time. And I have not visited the set since I wrapped shooting almost 2 years ago. So it's gonna be a trip down memory lane. I don't know how this is gonna look. Okay, it's raining. Perfect. That's the first thing. Right, okay, we've got things going on. Right. This is everything as I left it 2 years ago. Well, the only thing that is different is there used to be a massive block of dirt here, because I was experimenting. So all of these little, green screen things, I wouldn't fill them in manually. There's like a fill command. I think you have to do fill. That one, that one, that one. And then it's this one here. Yeah, there we go. And that's how I would do the green screens. I would just go fill, well, all of them except this one. I built this one manually. I think I built a bit of this one manually. I built that entire one manually, I remember that. This short film, a little bit of history to this. This short film was the first thing. It was the first sort of project that I'd undergone. It was my return to YouTube, basically. The last video that I made before this was 2021. And then I literally just stopped for 2.5 years because I didn't know what to do. But yeah, I would literally find anything to make videos on. I would just make videos on, pencils or some random camera or just anything that I could find. I made a video on back in those days. That is not the way to make a video. Don't just pick something and make a video on it. You've got to think about it. But then it sort of got into 2020. Yeah, 2020 came around and things just changed. I literally just didn't. The thing with 2020 was that we were in lockdown and there was nothing to do. So I literally we couldn't go out and buy stuff, because that's how I would make a video. We would go out to a shop, I would see something, buy it, and then make a video on it. But then 2020 came around, we couldn't go out and buy stuff anymore, so the only thing I could do was make videos on stuff we already had, which I'd already exhausted the supply of stuff that we had that I could make a video on. And with that, I was just getting more and more bored, and I literally could not find anything. And then 2021, I changed to a different room. I moved into this room, and then I literally just couldn't find time to record anymore. I literally got 1 day to record for that entire year, and I made 2 videos on that 1 day, and then I just thought, you know what, I can't be bothered anymore. So I stopped making videos. I did think I need to make a comeback at some point. I've got to come back in late 2021, 2022 possibly. But I just couldn't find it. I just didn't know what to do. I just couldn't find something to do. And then 2023, the first half of it at least, I honestly thought it was going to just be another year of not making video. I thought I was done, okay? I thought I was not going to make any more videos after this, at this point. But then, at that point, it was around mid-2022, early 2023, I suddenly had this idea to make a short film. And I wanted it on one of my books, and I decided very early on, this was like a year before I started planning and filming this short film, I planned that it was going to be a weretastic disaster ages before I started filming for it and everything. And like, before I decided to do it myself as well, I actually looked online. I would Google online, production companies, like really small production companies that I thought would take my idea on. I wanted it to be feature length, but I knew that it wasn't going to be feature length. I knew that it was going to be really short anyway, just because the story's really short. But I couldn't find anyone, and if I was going to find someone, it was going to be incredibly expensive. So I had to discard the idea of actually contacting a company about the film. So I then thought, I'll just make it myself. But then I thought, I'm not going to make it as a film, I'm going to make it as part of a series. So it's going to be, each episode is a different one of my books, because my books are really short, or some of them are. But then I thought, how am I actually going to do that? Because that's going to take a lot of effort to do that. So I then moved back to the idea of just creating a short film. I wanted it, like, I went through so many different stages, almost. I wanted it to be, like, animated. I wanted it to be computer animated, but I didn't know computer animation. It would just take too much time, and I didn't know how to do any of that at that point. So I was going to try stop motion. But then stop motion, while it's easier to animate than 3D, it takes so much more time. So I had to discard that again. So then I thought, do you know what? I could make it in a video game. So I looked at Minecraft and I found these mods. I found mods to create it. And it was the Aperture mod and the Blockbuster mod, which are the mods that I actually used to shoot this. Originally, I was like, this is way too difficult. When I was like testing it, I can show you the set that I tested everything on. This was the first set here. This set, Ben's bedroom set, this one right here, originally, this wall did not exist. This wall, this bit, none of this existed here. It was just the room. Like, this was it. This entire fourth wall here did not exist when I started originally. It was literally just this room. And when I started doing it, I found it was too difficult. I just couldn't get my head around the filming or the mod or anything. So I did give up on it. I gave up on it for like a couple of hours, and then I came back to it. This was like 9 o'clock at night. I came back to it, and I was like, screw this, I'm going to learn how to do this, I'm going to do this, and we're going to make this film a thing. And I started it, and I just started going, and the first shots are terrible for the film. The first few scenes are absolutely disgraceful. It actually sucks. I remember, so I filmed one bit, shot it, turned the camera around, filmed the next little bit, shot it, turned back around, shot it, filmed it, shot it, filmed it, and I would just do like a little bit, film it, a little bit, film it, and that was the way it worked. So this is it. Benjamin, you are going to be staying at your grandfather's house tonight. And I think I edited it all in the same day as well. Like, the first couple of scenes, like, so all of this, all the voices, the editing, the filming, the building, everything to do with that bit was all filmed in the same day. It was all filmed in like a matter of a couple of hours, so it was kind of crazy. You can see that it's not a proper TV. This literally used to be a green screen. It was just like a pink block. So I think this was like on the second day of shooting. I remember I was testing a car. I think I was testing, like, this blue car. I don't even know if I still have it anywhere. Oh, we do. We still have it. So yeah, this is the car. I tested this car. Yeah, I was testing it, and I drove it around. It wasn't that car over there, actually, because I crashed the one that I was testing. I crashed it into here. I still got the impact point, and it set this whole bit of the interior just on fire. Like, this entire bit was just on fire, and I lost, like, half of this set to that fire. But yeah, here's the car. I remember it being, like... Yeah, there was a version of the car, and I didn't know how to get rid of the cars. So what I did, I dug a massive hole in the floor, and just stored the cars down here, because I didn't know how to delete them. After building these two sets, I built that one over there, I remember. We'll get to that one in a minute, but we're going to go chronologically here. So, I think it was this one, these two, that one, then that one, that one, then that one, then that one, I think. I'm pretty sure this was the exact car that you see on screen in all of those scenes, because I didn't like spawning too many cars, because it would just lag my game out, because my computer at the time sucked. So I would dig a hole in the green screen, I would drive it out, drive it all the way around here, and then I would just drive, there used to be a hole right here, but I filled it in, and I'd literally go around, and I'd just drive the car in there, move it around, and that would be that. I wouldn't have, like, 2 or 3 cars for the different scenes, I'd just have the one, and I'd drive it around all the different, sets and whatever. This set, this house as well, I just really, really enjoyed building it. This set, I love this set. This is honestly my favourite set I've ever built. I'm pretty sure this was the first set that I ever used bits of Mr. Crayfish furniture. So this is all it here. This is all Mr. Crayfish furniture. I'm pretty sure as well. This is when I started experimenting with the camera rigs. I think it was the first or second scene. This scene was the first scene that I ever used a camera rig with. So I'd never used the camera rigs for this before, and then I suddenly sort of learnt how to do it. It was like the second, maybe third day of filming, and I just started learning how to use the camera rigs, because I had to learn how to use them, because I couldn't just do static shots all the time, because it would look horrible. So this is the first scene I ever used a dolly shot in.
Time, Ben.
So in this, I don't know why the car did this, but it would just sort of jump up and down. It was really glitchy. I'm just gonna see. Oh, they're in there as well. All the characters are still in where they... This is crazy, right? I mean, none of the models are there anymore, because I deleted them after I finished filming, but the last thing I ever recorded for this film is still here. I think this scene took maybe 3 days to film, because I didn't have the voice lines for half of the scene, and then I have to wait to film the rest of the lines, because I wanted, like, minimal interruption. I would wait until I was alone in the house. I would wait. And then I would film the voice lines. Oh, the upstairs. Did I even go upstairs? We didn't film upstairs. I built an upstairs, but I didn't film it. I didn't film in it for some reason. It's probably been absent so long, there's probably now, like, bats and stuff in here. I didn't want the audience to see into the upstairs for some reason, because it would just be blank. There's nothing in the upstairs. And if I wasn't filming up there, I wasn't going to build anything up there, because it would take way too much time. So what I did, I just got these black, like, filler blocks, and I literally just filled them in the windows and everything. Anywhere that I did not want you to see on screen, so, like, inside windows for rooms that I didn't want you to see, I just filled them in with these black blocks, because there's nothing behind them, and you've seen in there now. I think it was like they go home and it's like a couple years later or something. Oh no, they go home. Right, so this is where another continuity error is. They come home, they drive in, they come in. I think I used another dolly shot in that scene as well. The frame rate. It's because of the car. The car would glitch out, would lag my game so much. Yeah, this bit here, this bit was first used in this scene. So this is the scene it was first used in, was this scene here. Dad, do you know if that society that you're part of? Just the stock sound effects and everything. And the green screen is terrible. You can see like all the splotches and stuff where CapCut is trying to cut it out, but it's just cutting out too much. No, we're back to static shots, and also the green screen sucks. And then we cut to this scene where it sort of cuts between Ben and Alicia watching Price is Right on TV. They're watching it in here, and it cuts between that and in here, where Fred is baking a cake for Ben's birthday. Now this kitchen actually looks so much bigger on screen than it actually is. This set, I don't think they have radios. Oh, they do, but you can't put them down or something. There was something wrong with it. Oh my god, you can. I didn't know that. If I had, I would have used it, but I didn't. So instead, I just grabbed a picture of a radio off Google and just green screened it in. So that's what I did instead. During this bit as well, like, at this point in the shooting process, we're like a good like month into the shooting process at this point. I just sort of started taking the shooting style. I kind of got inspired by Wes Anderson's shooting style, which is like static shots, like head-on shots like that. So this shot was filmed one of those shots. This shot was filmed one of those shots as well. The entire like segment where they're talking in the car, or where they're talking in the kitchen and whatever, it's all filmed in that kind of style. So this bit, oh god, okay, that's kind of wide. Why is that wide? But yeah, this bit was filmed like that as well. I'm pretty sure it was filmed like this. And stuff like that. It was filmed very Wes Anderson-y. Yeah, look, here. Oh, the shears as well. There was no, like, icing, pipe thing. There was no piping bags. So I just used a pair of shears instead, because they look kind of like a piping bag. This was my next dolly shot that I used, was this one. Strangely enough, also at Grandpa's house. This dolly shot sucks. It really does suck. It's really terrible. Which set? Here we go. Over here. So the last time I showed you this set, it was literally just after we finished filming, just after the film came out, I released a video going around all the sets like I'm doing right now. But this one, this set, the last time you saw it, it was not built. The last time you saw it... How dare you interrupt me, Rain? Yeah, they would come in here and blah blah blah. The last time you saw this set, it was not built. It was not finished. This bit as well, this scene with the roof, where it like opens like that. This entire scene, how I did this, I dug a hole in the floor, and I would sort of position my camera like this. And then I like saved the camera position so it wouldn't move and it wouldn't be annoying. What I also did, if I remember correctly, I shot it at night, so there's obviously a lot of like stars and things moving around. The whole like sky moves at night and stuff. So what I did, I had a command block down somewhere, and it was on repeat. And it was repeating time set blah blah blah. So it would kind of freeze the sky a little. It would kind of freeze the sky. And then the camera was frozen, so it looked more real again. And then what I literally did, I covered this in black blocks like this. And then I literally went through and I literally just took a photo, remove one layer, take a photo, remove another layer, take another photo, remove another one, and another one, until the thing was open, and then I would stop recording, I would go into CapCut, I would take snapshots of each of the little photos and scenes that I'd taken, and then I would sort of put them all together in like 1 or 2 frame clips, and it ended up being like a 3-second stop motion clip of it opening, so that was cool. Open the windows. Werewolves, we shall step into the moonlight together. Most of the stuff in this scene was just visual effects and editing, so I could go through it. I mean, the lightning effects, obviously it was just lighting sound effects, and then it was just like a flash effect, and then what I would do is the characters, they would sort of stand here. The human versions of the werewolf people, they would walk up. I would get them to walk up, and then I would just get them to stand there just for like a couple of seconds, and then cut the camera. And I would get both of them to do it at the same time, which I literally just did that with timing. I get them both to walk up. Actually, I just got them all to walk up, and then what I would do, I would change into their werewolf forms, and then I would go up to where they were standing and roughly stand where they were stood. So this is how I would do it. I would sort of come up here. Oh, you're disappearing. Okay. This is like roughly where they would be stood. And I would just stand there, and then what I would do is I would remove the character. I could click a button and remove the tape of the character. Actually, no, I couldn't. What I would do, I would put the character in the werewolf form up here. I would stand them here and record the movement of that character there. And then what I would do is I would move the character that I didn't need anymore, which was the human version of the character. I think I moved them like out here, and I recorded them doing a little dance, but I don't have that video anymore. There we go. And then what I would do is I would put the camera roughly where it was, because I didn't save the camera position. I put it roughly where the camera was before, and then I would start rolling, record that for a couple of seconds, and then cut it. So that's how I would do that, and then I would do it for the same with these, and move the characters out and everything. Ben's one was a little difficult though, because Ben's character, his model, was different. It's a much smaller model, and the actual camera, so this actual like camera for the model, it's in a different position, and I did not know that. So during the scene where Ben and the other guy are talking, you can actually see Ben move backwards, because I would stand up to him where I thought he was, and he wasn't there, and it would just keep moving back with every take. So it's not amazing. It starts off like this.
It's been lost too long.
The other one moves back as well.
So it must be...
And they're just standing. I didn't even remove them. They're just standing in the set.
losing its power.
Yeah, look, he's gone backwards. He's gone backwards as well.
What do I have to do to become a proper werewolf? You have to find
Here it goes again. Oh my god, he moved forward. Oh my god, that's even worse. Oh my god. He moved properly backwards then. Are you kidding me?
How long do I...
He moved like a solid like 3 feet backwards. I didn't use any soundtrack originally. There was no soundtrack to begin with. But as we sort of got further into the production, I was like, we need a soundtrack. There has to be something to accompany what's going on screen. So I looked and I found the soundtrack for The Time Machine, the 2002 film, the time machine, and I used the soundtrack from that film. I used like bits of the soundtrack. It's quite a bit, like it's quite like a sad bit of the that specific track. And then he sort of like comes out, runs down here, and talks with Jack. Oh, there's another continuity error I could show you. Oh my god. Yeah, when he runs out. Yeah, so Ben runs out, and then Jack runs out. Look at the door. Look at the door as he runs out, because you'll see something that you're not supposed to see. Oh, there you go. There it was. Did you see it? It was a couple of seconds, but there you go. There we go. I forgot to remove the recording of Ben running out, so there he is, running out again. That's a continuity error. They run off, and then I used the end of the same track that I'd used before. I used the end of that track, where it's more upbeat, it's more like boom, boom, boom. And I decided to use it because I just love the soundtrack from the time machine. All the bits of music that I used for this film, the soundtracks, the music, the songs and everything, all of that I used, I just love them. That's why I used them, because they have so much like meaning. This next bit, oh my god, the field bit, this bit, I hated filming this. I hated building this as well. Oh, I forgot to shoot a bit as well. There was a bit that I was supposed to shoot where they sort of see a light, but I forgot to shoot it, so it kind of doesn't make sense when he says, "Oh, this is all beautiful" and whatever. I remember thinking, when's this nice bit gonna be? Like, how am I gonna get like a really nice shot of a city? And then I just sort of looked through old film trailers to find something that would look good. And eventually I settled, it's like a couple of seconds. I think it's from like the All Dogs Go to Heaven trailer. It's like 2, maybe 3 seconds from that trailer. And then they run through it. This is so boring. This took so long to film all of this as well, because I just got so bored with shooting this particular bit of the film. Yeah, they run through here, and then they discover, like, ooh, the mansion, it's up here. But in the actual film, anyway, yeah, they come up here, they literally come up to here.
You quit.
And look, there's nothing there. Forced perspective, this bit here. As you can see. It's like a little pathway, it's a little secret pathway. Because later in the film, the Doctor, aka Buddy, aka the villain, and I didn't actually use it either, I didn't use this forced perspective shot that I shot either, but he was supposed to sort of come through here and run through the green screen. I never used it, I didn't use that scene in the end, I didn't use that shot that I filmed, so it's just kind of a bit wasted, but whatever. Before we go inside, I just want to show you how lazy I got with the building of this. So as you can see, the building is fine around the front. It's really detailed, it's really great. But then as soon as you go past the green screen, it's like walls are missing, the bits of the back of the house are missing. I didn't even build this for some reason. The only bit that I used the full length and width of the house for was the upstairs. Like the downstairs, this is unused space, this right here. There's nothing there. Oh my god, there's this entire room that I didn't use as well. I can't remember where he was. I think it was like in here. Should we see in the film where he is? And when I say he, I mean Buddy / the Doctor. Until he is next shown in the foreground, he appears 3 times in the background. And I'm going to go through all the times that he appears in the background. So the first time he appears in the background is around here. There he is. See? He appears right up there, right up here. That's where he appears the first time. And then...
No.
And then there he is again. He appears up there again. Yeah. To film this, I mean, you can see it in the film, but to film this, I literally just put ladders up so they could just climb it instead of it. And then I was going to remove it to make it seem like they were actually climbing the tree, but I didn't. So it's not great. Also with this, with like the cobwebs and everything, this was not like this before I like got closer to filming the scene. Where they're in the house, where I started filming when they're in the house, because the house is supposed to be abandoned, and if the house looks perfect, it doesn't look quite right. So I built the house, filmed a load of the film, then I came back to the house when it was time to film in it, and I just put loads of holes and stuff, and I put loads of cobwebs, missing blocks, broken doors, stuff like that. I just did all of that. Ooh, we got an interesting bit to see next. Yeah, yeah. They come up here and they look over here, and over here is a book, and inside that book is a photo. And that photo that I took it, I believe, over here. If I remember correctly, I took that photo here. I think that's where I took the photo. Yeah. I took this photo. Right, there's a photo. I'm going to show it to you. Yeah, there you go. This photo, I took it. For some reason, the photo looks way wider in the actual film. Is he still here? There's someone still in there. Hello, who are you? That must have been him. There's like a tiny little snippet of the match going round inside the clinic, and I filmed that over there with that model that you've just seen that isn't moving. And then I edited it, made it black and white, added a film effect to it, and then literally removed this, and then just put it on there. Yeah, they play it, and then a song called Uranium Fever comes on, and then it's a montage of them looking around in this bit here. So this is where this next bit is filmed, is in here. And this is also the second time that we see Buddy in the background. So, here we go. So yeah, this is the film. That's the bit this is where I filmed all of this is the character that's inside the clinic as well.
Who is...
That villager was not scripted. That villager was just running around in there. We did one take, of that little clinic bit. We did one take of it, and that villager was just randomly in there. And then there's also a mistake. So if you look, like for a split second there will be no characters and then they just appear out of nowhere. When they appear out of nowhere, that's just me pressing the button to start filming it. So there we go, that's a mistake. And then you can see there, he's there. Right there. From what I remember, he walks towards over here, and he jumps down. From what I remember, that's what he does. And then this room right here also, this is supposed to be a utility room. This was never used. The scene that I wanted to shoot in here, there was like a couple of seconds of footage that would have been shot in there. I decided to remove it because it just didn't make sense to the story. So now this bit of the set is in here, but was never used. Everything that I decided to cut from the film was cut before I filmed it. I didn't film it and then decide to cut it. I decided to cut it before I filmed it because it just saved so much time. It was just so much quicker to just cut it out before I filmed it. So that bit was cut. Well, I built it thinking I was going to film it because I thought I was going to film it at that point. Then it got closer to us having to film in there, And then I think it was like the scene before I was supposed to film in there, I was like, can this rain just stop? But yeah, it was literally the scene before I was supposed to film in that room, and I suddenly thought, this isn't going to work. There's also another bit of the scene, there's also another bit of the book that I cut out, and that was the town scene. I cut the town scene out entirely. I didn't even build the town, because I was just like, this doesn't make any sense to the story. So I cut the entire town scene out, and I didn't film it or anything, so there you go. Yeah, oh my god, it's worse than I thought it was. You can actually see it here, 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 and here. Oh. This is the master, like, tape for the film as well. This is the master recording, and it's not even that good. The only reason that I had green screen was to remove what was behind them. Like, there was no other reason. It wasn't to add backgrounds. It wasn't for anything like that. Well, most of it wasn't to add backgrounds anyway. But most of it was purely to just remove what was behind the green screens. And behind the green screens on most of these sets would have been other sets. It would have been cars. It would have been carnage that I had caused while testing cars and sets and things. The 1936 bit of this actually makes reference to a cinema. I did work experience at cinema, not in 1936, but I did do work experience at cinema, and the cinema that I did work experience at was built, or the original one at least, was built in 1936. So that's why that's like that. That's why that's like that. So then there's like this weird shot, this really, really strange dolly shot that I did. And it goes a bit like this. They sort of come through. Hang on. They sort of come through. The shot goes like this. I kid you not, it goes not like that. Yeah, the shot goes a little bit like this. Like they come out and then it goes like this. And it goes round and they come in here. And then the shot, it literally goes like that. That's how that shot goes. It is so weird. I wanted it to be kind of experimental, some of the shots in this. So there will be weird shots like this. There will be shots that just go like this. I wanted it to be an easy editing job, some of these scenes. I wanted them to be easy to edit. Because there were more scenes in here that were going to be more difficult to edit. So if I just had like a handful of scenes that were just like one take, like just one straight up take where they just go all the way from the kitchen into here, that would be super easy because I can literally just cut out the bits before and after I stop shooting and literally just pop it in, and that'll be all good. And then I could just add like a bit of sound over it if I needed to and whatever, and it'd be so much easier than... I think this is where Buddy comes up again when they run out. Hang on.
Place to check now. The basement.
Yeah, so that bit there where I said there's one more place to check now, the basement, that bit was the bit that sort of was the catalyst for cutting out the utility room scene. Yeah, we see Buddy again in a minute. Here he is. He's coming up. Oh my god, that's a really, really bad bit of green screen right there. It's also in the last shot as well. Yeah, there he is. That's the third and final time that he comes up in the background before he reappears in the foreground. In some scenes, before I'd start recording, I'd leave the doors open sometimes, and then the characters would run through, and they would shut the doors on themselves. So it'd be kind of annoying to get it right. I'm pretty sure this is this is how big I originally wanted the house to be. So it's huge. This marker, this like dirt marker, that is how big I originally wanted the house to be. It was insanely big. Yeah, this whole bit here is like the crux of the entire plot. So there we go. there used to be a green screen right here, but I removed it for some reason. This is really cool. This room is really cool. I actually went through quite a few iterations of this room before I actually settled on one that I liked. So the actual structure of the room hasn't changed since I built it originally. The only thing that's changed is the lighting in the room. Originally there were lights all around here. It was very lit up. It was a very nice location. And there were no windows in the ceiling. There were no ceiling windows. I took out the lights because I wanted it to be more ominous, and then I forgot that the windows were in it as well. So I had to put the windows in, and then we needed a pulley thing to open the windows. So I added this in. This bit here with the window again. I again used the stop motion for this. I used the stop motion black block thing. How I did this bit, is I literally just got wood, right? I think it was something like this, how I did it. And I would build wood up here, and then I'd add a ladder. He would go up the ladder. I would add this structure, then I'd build a ladder. I would film the character going up the ladder, clinging onto this thing, and then pulling on it like that. And then what I would do is I would remove this, and then I would start the camera. I would start the camera I think it was here-ish. Yeah, I'd start the camera, and then the character would go up the ladder and across here like this, and pull the thing, as if the blocks were there and they weren't. So that was cool. He's here, and then he jumps over here, lands down here and knocks the moonstone out of the thing and down here into the Doctor's hands. And then the Doctor turns into a massive werewolf. The sound effect for his laugh as well, I actually used, from a deleted scene from All Dogs Go to Heaven, I used a little snippet of of some guy laughing, from a deleted scene from that film. They come up, and then there's an explosion right about here, and the Doctor runs out. He runs out and he runs up there to go and get him. How I did this, is what I did is I put a piece of TNT down, and then I had an invisible character, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had an invisible character, and they would trigger the TNT. Yeah, I'd sort of wait here, and wait till it exploded, and then I'd run through and run up. We did two takes of this scene. One of them, I think it was just because the explosion wasn't very good, but we did it twice, and every time the TNT explodes in this scene, I had to rebuild the bits of the set that blew up. So, the floor for this set would have blown up. Thank God it wasn't over a massive, important bit of set. He gets a thing, he shoots him with a bow. That's when he's supposed to run through the forced perspective green screen, but never does. When I was recording the character movement for Ben here, he actually did die. He actually did get hit, but for some reason when playing it back and recording it, actually filming it, he doesn't for some reason. It's really strange. I shot this scene twice. I shot this scene once with daytime with the human characters. They run all the way over there, all the way to over there. And then I shot the scene again with the werewolf characters where they run out here and run all the way back down to there. I shot it twice, and then I did a really terrible transition between the two of those scenes. So there you go. Yeah, they talk, they negotiate something. Ben comes out into the light here. The shot is literally like this. The shot is like this. And the terrible part about this, when I faded it out, Because what I would do is later in the film, when two characters are talking and one of them's on one side of the screen, the other one's on the other side, I would freeze the half of the screen that the character isn't talking on. And when I faded it out on this final shot, like this, when I faded it out, the frozen bits for the scene faded out first, so you could then see behind it where all the characters are moving around. And that's me revisiting the set after like 2 years of filming. I hadn't done anything for 2.5 years before this. So going from absolute zero for 2.5 years to this was insanity, basically. It was crazy. And then doing that big of a content thing, actually doing that much work, it really inspired me to sort of start doing content again. And in December of that year, that was the first time that my face had been back on screen in almost 3 years. So it was kind of insane. And then by 2024, I started moving myself back into full-on content creation, like full-time. I was actually going to be properly making content now. The production of this short film really helped me to realize that I still did enjoy content creation, and that I wanted to get back into doing it full-time again. And the fact that I am now doing it full-time again, and the place that I am now, I'm just so thankful for this short film, because it means that because it allowed me to come back into the creation space again, especially before this, when I thought that I was never going to come back into this space again. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for the support and everything, but yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, then like, subscribe, and whatever, and I will see you guys in the next video. So goodbye guys, goodbye.